games, good kicking games, and excellent providers. So should be a cracker, this one, Fraser.
Referee this afternoon is James Vella. Video referee is Liam Moore. And the ball being brought out by a Chinese business delegation who are visiting the Salford Stadium this afternoon. So we're all set. Round 6 of the Betfred Super League, Salford versus Leigh, live and exclusive on Sky Sports. Of course, the only place where you can see every Super League game this season live. Good crowd in here this afternoon as well. Nice to see that a good smattering of Leigh fans have made their way the short distance down the road to come and watch this game here this afternoon. And we're off and underway, straight into the arms for Salford Red Devils to try and return the kick to about 20 metres. They've had two very contrasting fortnights, these two sides. Salford, of course, put in a terrific performance against Wigan a couple of weeks back, but then ended up just running out of steam. And then after that, well, trounced by 40 points to nil at Hull KR in the Challenge Cup. Leigh, by contrast, picked up their first win of the Super League season a couple of weeks back, putting half a century on Hull FC, who are having a terrible time at the moment, and then beating Featherstone, of course, in the Challenge Cup, setting up a next round clash against Hull KR, so a repeat of last year's final. So things turning around for the Leigh Leopards after what's been a really difficult start to their season.
Well, things still settling down. We're less than a quarter of the way through the system. That kick a little bit too long from Mark Sneyd, but think back to that game. Salford played Wigan. Last couple of minutes, they made a mistake with the ball and then failed to defend that. But Mark Sneyd is encouraged by Paul Rowley to keep trying that stuff. The risk and reward element of rugby league is very much on show for Salford. And then for the Leigh Leopards, let's not forget they're missing the three most important players, Asiata Amone and Edwin Epape, three members of the dream team last year. So they're still trying to find their rhythm throughout the season. That man's important for them, Brad Dwyer. The more he can come into the game, the better Rob Mulhern plays, the more we'll see Brad Dwyer.
Brad Dwyer back in the side this afternoon, and Lachlan Lamb starting the game, having recovered from that gash to the leg that he picked up against Leeds a couple of weeks back. I understand he had something like 15 stitches in that leg, and it looked really, really nasty. But here's Moylan, man of the moment for the Leigh Leopards, and Mulhern, as Dwyer spins it down the left-hand side, and a high kick up into the corner from Lachlan Lamb, and Gareth O'Brien has gone chasing after it, but he hasn't come up with the ball. Ryan Briley has, though, instead.
I like that, Fraser. Short side kick. He positioned himself on the left side of the field, Lachlan Lamb, knowing that his fullback was chasing really hard in the middle. Good synergy and good understanding between halfback and fullback.
And first appearance, as we say, for Joe Mellor. Finally making a start for the Salford Red Devils this afternoon. It's been a long time coming for him. Cade Custis tied up in the tackle. Mellor springs it out to the right-hand side. The Red Devils happy to just try and make up some ground here as it comes through the middle. That's a good tackling on Shane Wright. Mellor again then, this time electing to go from dummy half and gets the pass away. He managed to keep it away here, the Red Devils, and straight away we're seeing how they'd like to pass the ball around here. Another chip forward, this time from Ethan Ryan, but straight into the hands of the man at fullback there, Gareth O'Brien. And just an early little sense there, Barry, of what we were talking about, how this team, how both these teams in actual fact love to just chip the ball, throw it around and entertain.
Lovely stuff from Ryan Briley. It was just a little bit too far and he felt like the pass would have been forward, so he kicked it. Well done, Ryan Briley. Good to watch.
Charnley for the visitors, ably assisted by Ed Chamberlain, who's back in the side this afternoon. Charnley just losing his shirt there for a moment.
That's good defence, stern defence. They need to control the ruck, Salford. They need to dictate the pace for this side to get anything, but with players like Rob Mulhern in the Leigh Leopards, that task is incredibly difficult.
Here's Dwyer, ready for support, and Moylan with the kick, and it's gone low this time. Salford try and return midway through their own half. Back out towards this near side touchline with Briley.
There you go. That's
and then
Salford,
picked up by Leigh, and Leigh almost bursting through the tackle there.
That's Salford. They'd rather go around you, try and find some space, try and find a little lazy defender, a player that's not quite concentrating, not quite focused, and they'll find their opportunity.
And an incorrect play of the ball there. And penalty will be given. That's the first mistake we've seen this afternoon. Salford are on their own halfway line there.
Nice and tight. Play the ball, boys.
Yeah, a real feature of the 2024 season. If you don't play it properly, that's an incorrect play of the ball in 23,
maybe just a bit of rush there from Joe Mellor.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get that balance right. You want to play the ball quickly to give your team an advantage, get them over the advantage line, but you've got to do it correctly.
Well, the ball's been dropped here, and they've got it back. Salford, by the looks of things, have they?
Well, celebrations from Cade Cusk. He certainly believes.
Yeah,
and the
Salford
referees
congratulating each other.
Yeah, the referee's happy with that. Kai O'Donnell. Well, my instinct is always, obviously, as somebody liked to bend the rules ever so slightly.
Surely
when the ball comes out like that, I tend to be a little bit suspicious. But Salford have got the ball, they've got away with it. They won't be complaining.
Paul Rowley saying that they just didn't get going against Hulkingston Rovers in the Challenge Cup last week, and ending up on the end of a nil scoreline, very unlikely for Salford. They have been involved in some very, very tight games so far this season, though. Each of their last 5 Super League matches has been decided by margins of no greater than 10 points on the day. So if it's a good tight game, as we expect it will be here this afternoon, then we could well be in for a treat. We've seen some real crackers so far on this Easter weekend, and we fully hope and expect that this will be another one. Salford in possession. Mellor just waiting at dummy half as Adrian Lamb keeps a close eye on his side. Coming through the middle is Jack Ormonroyd. 20 metres from the line, they go down the left-hand side, and Oliver Partington, and they still keep the ball alive here with Mellor. Mellor through towards Sneed. Sneed with a little grubber kick through. Now, was there a little bit of a holding back in back play there?
Yes, there was, Fraser, yes. Ryan Briley was prevented from chasing that kick. They've got great instinct, haven't they, Salford? Because, as I said, Paul Rowley encourages his team. If it's on, if you see it, if you're confident in your skill, then have a crack at it. And you're right, there was a tug back.
Let's see what the video referee has to say on this one.
I can't hear you, Liam.
Okay, it's tackle 3. No try, checking the merits of a potential penalty try. So checking onside, offside first from the kick. So we confirm, is he onside or not? Ball on foot. Chaser is onside, so I'm happy to play on at this point. So what happens from here on in? Well, it appears like Lachlan Lamb pulls back the chaser there. So going to see if we've got any other angles on this. So does he pull him back? Can't tell on that one. This might help us. Alternative angle. Again, checking all available angles to see if there's any contact after the ball. Confirmed he's onside. Oh, I can see there he pulls him back. Clearly pulls him back. So we're going to go just to see the proximity now to the defenders. Yeah, there's a fullback there. However, it's a clear pullback. So thank you. I've made my decision.
So an early decision for the video referee to make. As
he could be in trouble here, Lachlan Lamb.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a penalty try. I think we're all confident he would not have got there, and Leigh would have covered that up. But there's a penalty, and it could be.
Here for a pullback. Lachlan Lamb.
Yeah, there you go.
Try, but there's a card coming out here. And sure enough, 10 minutes in the bin for Lachlan Lamb early doors for that pullback and Ryan Briley.
Yeah, you understand what the player's doing. Lachlan Lamb fears there may be a penalty, or maybe an opportunity to score a try, so he's willing to give the penalty away. But nowadays, it's no decision, is it?
Well,
it's easy for the referee.
I think it probably would have been harsh, to be fair, had that been given as a try. But
Gareth, just stand the line there, mate.
I think Gareth O'Brien's position is good enough. He would have covered that. but those are the risks that a player is willing to take. Salford, through the cast iron boot of Mark Sneyd, will probably just convert the 2 points and crack on with the game.
And sure enough, he does. Absolutely no doubt about that. He is sixth on the Super League goal-kicking chart. 927 he's on after the Wigan game. He could pass fifth place Danny Tickle if he gets another one over the course of this weekend. So he's now level with Danny Tickle on 928 goals.
But it's not just off the tee, is it, with Mark Sneyd? His kick, let's not forget, his kick into space presented the opportunity to Ryan Brierley. He's got a good kicking game, and the Leopards would have looked at that. They would have spoken and worked on that during the week, and Adrian Lamb and his team would have also tried to work on ways to prevent, and that probably wasn't one of them.
So Gareth O'Brien it is who gets us underway to restart the game, and Salford now playing against a team with a man down. Lachlan Lamb sent to the sin bin. Let's see whether or not they can put the hammer down now and take some advantage. They're on their own 20-metre line at the moment. Shane Wright bringing it back out in towards this middle for Mark Sneyd, and that's good defending from Leigh, who pushed him straight back to where he started.
I think the light in the pack, I really do. That's the reason Mark Sneyd's forced into carrying that ball forward. They'll go round you and they'll find space around you, but going through the middle might be tough for Salford. Quick
carrying from Joe Mellor, who is very keen, it would seem, to try and establish himself in this team, having waited so long to make his debut before Mark Sneyd hoists a high ball up into the air and safer houses with Gareth O'Brien. Brought down just over the 20-metre line, and Dwyer playing it quickly, bringing it back in, and just went down slowly under the challenge there, didn't he, Milo Hanley? Fortunately, he's okay. Here's Josh Charnley, trying to push his way towards the 40-metre line. He's getting an extra couple of yards. Dwyer waits in through the middle. And Dwyer again into the 10-metre, the halfway line, and it was Mulhern who was brought through there.
He's worked hard, hasn't he? 10 minutes. He's done a carry more or less every set, and sometimes two in the same set.
Ball kicked into touch.
And going back to the blokes in the middle, Fraser, I do believe that they're a little bit light and will find it hard to gain momentum in the middle of the field. And if Rob Mulhern has an afternoon, if he puts the work in, he generates the momentum, I think he'll give his side an excellent chance of getting the 2 points.
Oliver Partington then to get us restarted on his own 20-metre line. And it's in with Dion Cross, who's was the only 29-game ever present player for Salford last season. Penalty given there. 10 minutes gone. Salford leading by 2 points to 0. Just offside by the looks of things there, Barry.
Mark Sneyd and Salford haven't really got out of second or third gear yet, have they?
It's been a fairly subdued start, I think it's probably fair to say, from both sides, really, at the moment. I'm sure this game, sooner or later, is going to spring into life. Ormonroy then, through towards Sneyd. Sneyd with his bag of tricks, hopefully opening very, very soon. Tim Lafay now. 3 men in the tackle. On the 30-metre line, Mellor waits for it. At dummy half. And Mellor it is who gets it out towards Sneyd and then sprung down the line out towards Brierley, who's brought it back in towards Nenny McDonald. And McDonald with a little bit of trickery from him, can't quite get it through, but 6 again. Quickly played down the line, in possession with Sam Stone. Stone just over the 10-metre line. They want to play it quickly here. Mellor plays it in short, looking close. And held up there.
Dan Norman for the Leigh Leopards offside. Some wonderful interplay there. You can see how Salford like to move it from left to right, almost an opportunity for Nenny McDonald.
It'll be brought in instead, though, by Shane Wright. Very close in to the try line here. Down the right from Sneed. Sneed and fast hands out towards the far side, looking for Dion Cross. Cross still going. Brought down just short. Watkins waiting for him at dummy half. They want to play it quickly here, Salford. It'll be Cust. Cade Cust being pushed in towards the corner by the Salford defenders, but he kept the ball alive very, very well. Watkins waiting for support. Queuing up behind him now as Mellor gets it out in towards the right-hand side of Ormondroyd. Ormondroyd brought out short. Mellor again trying to get it out quickly. Sneed through towards Cust. Cust with a long play out towards Briley. Ryan Briley on his 300th appearance in his rugby league career. Dabs down and gets the first try of the afternoon for the Salford Red Devils.
Of course it's Ryan Briley. He's written that down on his team sheet, on his tip sheet during the week. Just give me the opportunity, boys. Some lovely involvements from Ollie Partington in the build-up to that from Salford. But ball in two hands, sliding defenders, and a perfect start from Ryan Briley. It's a rush play the ball. Mark Sneed delivers it to Cade Cust, who has to stutter and judder. But as soon as Ryan Briley sees those defenders with eyes for the players outside him, he thinks, this is it, there's my opportunity, and I'll have a try. Thank you very much.
So, Ryan Briley, 300 up as far as appearances are concerned, and a try on the field, the perfect way to mark such a milestone in your career. And all the family and friends that are here to watch him this afternoon will be celebrating that, no doubt. There's a lounge where all his friends and family are this afternoon. They've got some huge balloons in there, some helium balloons you probably can't quite see in the picture there.
Two full boxes of them.
Just behind there is a huge silver 300 to mark what's a very, very special occasion for Ryan Briley. Meantime, Mark Sneed has the opportunity to try and make it 2 from 2 and put his side 8 points to 0 to the good. He's had now 20 from 20, Mark Sneed, as far as kicks are concerned this season. About as consistent as you could possibly hope for when it comes to the kicking boots, season after season from this man. And sure enough, there's another one.
He doesn't miss many, does it? Doesn't miss many, Mark Sneed. As Salford have had relatively few chances down this end of the field, you know that when they get down there, they're going to look to stretch the defence. Ryan Briley, good step off the right foot. He wants to score that. That's the important thing. He's not looking to find a pass. He's not looking to run lateral to have somebody to come in and drop them off. He wants to get over that try line.
8 points to 0 then. And the home side are leading.
It's important for the confidence. I thought last week in the Cup, Salford went busted, they went hurt, they went disappointed. We all watched the Wigan game and felt for them in those last couple of minutes and probably limped into that Cup game with that ghost in the back of the mind. It's important to get rid of that, and the start will help them.
How difficult is it to try and put the memory of a game, a defeat, an absolute drubbing like that behind you and just wipe the slate clean, start again?
Well, the beauty about sport is there's plenty of opportunities to get rid of that, and when you're in the beginning of the season, there's loads of times where you can get back out and work on those things. Nobody remembers what happens in round 4, 5 and 6. It's about the end of the year.
Watkins doing well to offload the ball there. Cust knocking it back, and then Mellor as well, as it's picked up by McDonald, tackled by Mulhern, but they've still got the ball in play here. Still terrific work from the Red Devils. It's a joy to watch when they throw it around like this. Shane Wright, and now in towards Sam Stone, just over the halfway line for the Red Devils. Mellor waiting. Lachlan Lamb is about to re-enter the fray for the visitors, having been sin-binned.
Mistake from Salford there. They're trying to throw that ball. They're trying to stretch the defence. And the other answer to your question is the coach will determine whether you're really, really harsh on yourselves or you just get rid of it. Cade Cuss couldn't keep hold of the ball, hands over possession, but Paul Rowley encourages his side to play and plays and allows his team to play positively.
Dwyer in through to Norman. It's gone backwards here.
That's good work.
Gareth O'Brien has managed to pick it up.
Good hustle. Ollie Partington again, very busy in the opening 16, 17 minutes.
Leigh Leopards then into the Salford half. Brad Dwyer trying to rally his troops. Moylan in through the middle towards Trout. Trout 30 metres from the line. Dwyer out towards the left side for Lamb, who's back in the fray. And then hands around the top of Kai O'Donnell. Lamb waits for it. In towards O'Brien. High kick towards the corner. Chasing after it, Briley, but he hasn't been able to get hands on that one. And on that particular place, on that part of the field, we can just see there's a huge stream of light which is coming through. So wrong place at the wrong time for Briley there to have the sun straight in his face, which will have made things very, very difficult for him.
It was Matt Moylan who was chasing that ball. What we had 17, almost 18 minutes. We've hardly mentioned his name. I think that might even be the first involvement he's had with the ball.
McDonald and Mellor through the middle with Tim Lafay, and now in towards Partington. Takes the tackle just over the 40. Mellor steps aside, keeps it alive. Good work as Briley steps aside and finds Mellor. Mellor with a little bit of space, and he's taken out there in the middle. And surely the referee will want to have a word about this one. But Amila Hanley, meantime, is wrapped up in the challenge.
Fraser,
boos from the home fans.
He's way play on the referee. Well, that's madness. Joe Mellor makes the break, puts the kick in.
Well, I have to admit, that is something of a surprise. In time, the whistle has been blown. But as you can probably tell from some of the noises coming from the home fans, they were not happy about that going unpunished.
Well, as he makes the break, it's a chip and chase. And if he stands his ground, you could probably argue he doesn't have to move or he can't disappear. But I believe he steps into him. I believe he makes a motion, and you could argue there might even be a little shoulder charge in there too.
Well, Gareth O'Brien can maybe count himself a little bit lucky there as Mulhern brings it to the 40-metre line. Brad Dwyer scurrying quickly, brings it through to the 30. They're trying to hustle the ball along now here with Moylan as Leigh Leopards get themselves into the game. That's too high from Lachlan Lamb, way too high for even the superpowers that Josh Charnley often has. But that one has been given as a forward pass anyhow.
Well, Salford Red Devils will still be feeling bitterly, bitterly disappointed. The more I watch that, the more I believe it's at least a penalty. Lachlan Lamb fails to find his target, but as he makes the break, he gets an offload. It's a chip and chase, and that can't be anything but a penalty for me.
10 metres here.
Well,
it could have even been a little bit more, but hey, moments in games like that, it's how you respond and how you recover mentally.
Halfway through the first half, and the Salford Red Devils find themselves 8 points to 0 to the good. Here's Tim Lafay for the home side. Plenty of talking points so far in this game. It's been lively after a fairly slow start. Dion Cross to the 40 for the Salford Red Devils, and now McDonald again operating at dummy half this time to the halfway line, waiting for support from Mellor, and finds it, and Sneed with a kick ball forward in towards the corner. Hanley chasing after it and does well, and then runs straight into Sam Stone.
And a good chase too from Salford, quickly over the disappointment of that play a couple of minutes ago, straight onto defence. Paul Rowley, after the game last week, talked about his team being disconnected in defence. We haven't seen that so far in the opening 21 minutes.
As you can see, bottom of your screen, round 7 fixtures coming up after we finish things off tomorrow And every game live here on Sky Sports throughout the entire Super League season. So much to look forward to, and some real crackers there along the line as well. Here is Rob Mulhern for the visitors. Just over the 30. Dwyer then to Moylan. Moylan with a kick forward, and that's a long, deep one. A real tester there, and well picked up by Ethan Ryan. He did very well.
He did well to keep his feet, didn't he? He was tripping and skipping all over the place, but it was a deceptive kick. And he had to be really good to catch it, Ethan Ryan.
Again, very, very happy to just throw this ball around here. The Salford Red Devils, as Dion Cross claims that he was bundled in the play of the ball there. Shouting at the referee to hurry along the Leigh Leopards players into completing their tackles and getting back up on their feet. It's been a real show of how they want to play things so far, Salford, in the fact that they want to play the ball very, very quickly.
Making a change, rotating Ormonroyd and Big King's on the field now.
High kick again from Mark Sneed. This will be a tester for Zach Hardacre. And it's a good chase as well from the Red Devils. Moylan waits at dummy half. In towards Hanley, who's been in fantastic form so far. Amila Hanley bursting onto the scene. 5 tries in 3 games. A hat-trick for him last week in the win over Featherstone in the Challenge Cup. Moylan, who was player of the match in the game against Hull a couple of weeks back, where Leigh got their first Super League victory of the season. O'Brien swings it out towards Chamberlain, and now Charnley bringing it back inside, running out of options though. Still manages to steal an extra couple of yards though, Josh Charnley, giving his side that extra little bit of impetus before Moylan kicks to the corner. And again, that shaft of light causing a few issues for Ethan Ryan, but he's been equal to it so far.
He's under pressure, Hanley up on him quick. Leigh Leopards looking to restrict now. As I said, they're a little bit light in the middle, but the advantage they've got is in the back division. Some big men, including Nene McDonald, that can get off, get in and take some pressure away.
So it's Big King Vuniyayawa now in possession. And Mellor wanted to play it again quickly, as Watkins trying to burst through the line. 3 men wrapping him up in the tackle. Mellor at dummy half. Long pass out towards Sneed, and a very targeted kick.
Absolutely, Fraser.
In between the two.
Split the winger and fullback, and then a good chase on the back of it as well.
And I think that's probably what's been most impressive about Salford so far, Barry, the fact that they've played the ball so quickly, and when they have been releasing it, their kick chase has been absolutely rock solid.
Because again, Paul Rowley talked about it last week, they weren't connected in defence. They had to work on that. They had to make sure they turned up for the mate and presented a solid line, especially on those transitions.
Hardacre, and penalty's going to be given here because Dwyer was bundled over, but I think we were offside there as far as the Salford players were concerned.
Yeah, the referee has been really keen, really strict on the play of the ball.
So O'Brien with the kick just over the halfway line, and a chance to really settle a bit now, maybe for Leigh, after what's been a difficult first half. Paul Rowley will be the much happier of the coaches, I think, so far. Moylan in through towards Davis in the middle, and he's pushed back again there, and that's good defending once more from the home side. Dwyer into Lamb. This will be 6 again. Owen Trout bundled over eventually. Dwyer in towards Moylan. Mulhern supporting him. Mulhern, and he's offloaded it beautifully down to the right-hand side for Davis. Has he got enough legs in him? He hasn't, because as Salford Red Devils defenders get back, but they're just 10 metres from the line here. Moylan in towards Mulhern. And they're only on the third tackle here, so they've got plenty of opportunity if Moylan can get it out towards Lamb, waiting for some help in the shape of Owen Trout. 10 metres from the line now. Dwyer in towards the middle. And it's Davis who is upended there. Dwyer just short. Plays it down to the right-hand side. He'll get another 6 here, but they won't need him because Amila Hanley has picked up the ball close to the corner and has run it in for Leigh's first try of the game.
Amila Hanley scores that try, but put the break and the opportunity down to Rob Mulhern. Takes an inside pass, gallops 25 metres, finds a support player in Matt Davis, keeps his cool. Here we have a look at it. Inside play from Moylan. Delivers the pass to Matt Davis, who doesn't panic, doesn't overstretch his ability. A couple of tackles, and then eventually some space on the outside for Hanley. Great stuff from Leigh Leopards. We've hardly had any field position to our right as we're watching on TV. But that's a beauty. Taken by Rob Mulhern.
Terrific work from Rob Mulhern. 6th try of the season then for Amila Hanley. In absolutely terrific form. And attracting a lot of excitement and attention. The 22-year-old. Son, of course, of one of the greats of the game. And a lot of pressure perhaps on his shoulders to try and emulate his legendary father, but he's doing a pretty good job so far.
Well, I know for a fact it was the GOAT's birthday this week. I wished him happy birthday by text, but I'll wish him happy birthday, and he'll be sat at home watching this fantastic match.
Matt Moylan then with the opportunity to try and bring his side to within 2 points of Salford. 11 goals kicked successfully so far this season for Moylan. And he's just pushed that one to the left. And that's a bit of a surprise, because from where we were standing here, we're more or less right in line with that one.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed with that. Disappointed. So important. Seems to be a key talking point, 2024. The quality of kickers in Super League and a team's ability to convert 4 points into 6, often determining the win or the loss. Here's the space on the outside. A couple of non-plays. I thought they'd fluffed it after Mulhern and Davis had made the break. But what a 28, 29 minutes Rob the Mullet Mulhern is having.
Quite a few haircuts of a similar style in
but that's the best one
in the Leigh team. That is probably the best one as well. Combined with the curls, it's pretty special. Here's Dwyer in towards Hardacre, who probably doesn't visit the hairdresser too often these days. Moylan as brings it inside, and the home side having to do a little bit of defending here as Hughes was upended. Dwyer waiting for some support in the shape of O'Brien, and now Moylan again to chip it to the corner and try and put Ryan Briley under a little bit of pressure. Briley equal to it, brings it out to the 10-metre line.
Well, that's the quality of Leigh Leopards. They've hardly had any field position, and the momentum, you could argue, is still in the favour of Salford Red Devils, but those points, well, they make the difference on the scoreboard. There's a penalty coming here. Rob Mulhern, I think, has hit somebody late in back play.
We talk about kickers, Barry, and it's 2 from 2 for Mark Sneyd so far, and having a player like that on your side, especially for a team like Salford, absolutely crucial that he can nail those kicks time after time.
Well, going into this game, was he not 19 from 19?
Yeah.
As we say, he's not just off the kicking tee, he's out of the hand, he's passing and game management is second to none. And look at his communication. Good halfbacks never shut up, Fraser. Never.
And I'm sure you used to love that when you were a player as well.
Well, one in particular, a certain Rob Burrow, never shut up, never stopped shouting at me.
I'm not surprised. For a little man, he had a big voice, didn't he?
Yeah.
Tremendous work here for the Salford Red Devils. He's thrown over a Sam Stone just over the 40-metre line. And another set upcoming as King Vuniyayawa has it for the home side. Amir Burra has come on, as you can see, off the bench. Through towards Watkins. Watkins just over 10 metres from the line now as Burra waits for it into Cust. They miss out Yayawa, but they managed to keep the ball going. Sneed, very quick hands again for Stone. Stone was waiting to try and offload for Yafai, but it wasn't coming. Burra, however, will try and take it on. To Sneed. Finding support, quick hands from Custody, finds Briley. Ryan Briley again! What a game he's having! 300 appearances and 2 tries on a magnificent milestone game. Tremendous stuff for the man who's got 300 up.
Well, you can see Kurt Haggerty and Paul Rowley getting the messages down to the sideline. I think they've looked at that in the week. I think they've set that play up, understanding that there'd be a little bit of frailty in the middle. Rowley and Kurt Haggerty, 2 terrific coaches, and the team, as you can see, implementing that game plan. Mark Sneed and Cade Cust combining, and the acceleration and change of tempo from Ryan Briley gets him into the gap. Rob Mulhern chases a little bit too hard, but wow, doesn't he enjoy that?
Absolutely, and I'm sure all those friends and family that are taking up those executive boxes just below us will be absolutely delighted with the way that this special milestone game has gone so far for that man in the middle there, Ryan Briley. 12 points to 4 then, the lead.
Fraser, I'm going to keep talking about it. Friends and family loving their afternoon supporting Ryan Briley, but Ryan Briley will thank probably one of the most underrated back threes in the division, Sam Stone, Callum Watkins over on the right, and Ollie Partington, who can run at you, over you, and he's got those subtle, delicate little touches just to try and outfox opponents. You can see him there, the number 13. If you know what you're watching for, he has some really small but crucial involvements.
Sneed makes it 3 from 3. And so, a very successful first half so far for the home side. Adrian Lamb with an awful lot to think about at these early stages.
Yeah, Adrian Lamb's side getting up quick, trying to shut those players down, but unless you're connected, unless there's a solid line, if somebody just misses a step or half a step, players like Ryan Briley, well, they make you pay. And as you can see, Asiata there.
Gonna say, I mean, look at that shot there. When you consider some of the players that Leigh have got missing so far in this season, Asiata, Amon, Edwin Ipapi as well, missing from that first round game, and going to be spending an awful lot of time on the sidelines. That's ripping the spine out of a very strong team.
And when you think about the involvement, the communication that those 3 players will have, the stature that they'll have in the dressing room before and after games, it's a big loss for Adrian Lamb's side.
Amir Burra then for the home team. Sneed and out quickly from Cust to Briley, and again they're so quick in the passing of the ball here. The home side is Nenny McDonald is brought down just over the halfway line. Leon Cross waiting at dummy half. King Vuniyayawa now out the back from Vuniyayawa. Lovely stuff from the Salford Red Devils, picked up by Tim Lafai. And they're still going here. Excellent work this. There's Shorrocks, who's come off the bench, brings it forward once more for the home side.
Brilliant from Salford.
Amir Burra, Cust. Back in towards McDonald. 10 metres from the line. They can smell blood here, the Salford Red Devils. The Leopards are on the ropes. Swung out to the left-hand side, missed out, and this will be Lafai in towards Ethan Ryan. Ethan Ryan, from close range, he still had a lot of work to do, but my word, he did a great job there.
Brilliant stuff from Salford, playing good rugby league, promoting the ball to players, and And this is the important part, in a better position than the ball carrier, creating chances, creating opportunities, and making it virtually impossible for Leigh Leopards to collect and handle the block with the ball. Hit, spin, offload, a lovely soft touch from Ollie Partington. Big King finds an offload. Sam Stone finds an offload. Lafayette, it's just great to watch. And the uncertainty in the ranks defensively for Leigh Leopards means that you've got some players shooting up, some players holding back. And the Salford Red Devils get another try. Champagne stuff from the Red Devils.
It's a joy to watch, unless, of course, you are a fan of Leigh Leopards. But Ethan Ryan still had an awful lot of work to do there when the ball came to him. Did a terrific job wriggling his way through the tackle. Sneed again with the opportunity to make it 4 from 4. And Ethan Ryan, with his 5 caps for Ireland, I'm sure he will have enjoyed Paddy's Day not long ago, earlier in the month.
Yes, I did, by the way. I had a good few pints of the black stuff.
I was just waiting to see whether you'd carry on to that one.
Don't raise your eyebrows in that inquisitive way.
I wouldn't dare. So, what we've got less than 5 minutes remaining in this first half. We could have a 16-point gap here if Sneed puts this one over. Awful lot of work, awful lot of things to think about for Adrian Lamb. What do you think he'll be saying to them when they head towards the sheds at half-time?
Well, I'll tell you what Paul Rowley will be saying is keep doing what we're doing. And you asked me about 10 minutes into the game, how do you get rid of a game where you've got battered by 40 points to 0 away at Hull KR? Well, Paul Rowley will obviously look at the things that go wrong, but he's a positive coach. Let's do what we do. Let's play to our own character. He talks about character all the time, Paul Rowley. Character on the terraces, character in the city of Salford, but character in his team. Let's do what we do, and let's do it with commitment and confidence.
Salford gets back underway then. No, sorry, Leigh do rather, as it's into that little shade of sunshine again, which is slowly but surely starting to disappear as the day goes on. And Vuniyawa bringing it forward to the 20-metre line.
So Adrian Lamb will talk about offloads, won't he? He'll talk about making sure that the tackle you make, you're also concentrating and focusing on locking the ball up and not allowing players like Lafayette to get an offload away and make you work harder.
Burrett down the line from right. Briley, 2-try Ryan Briley in this game so far, having an absolute blast as Nenny McDonald. His tackle just short of the halfway line. Burrett keeping a close eye on who's lining up alongside him onto his left-hand side, and one of them is Mark Sneed. And a high tester again for Gareth O'Brien.
It was good kick pressure from Salford there. Sometimes you've just got to focus on the fundamentals of the game. Good kick pressure, good kick chase, and on that occasion the Leopards didn't give Mark Sneed enough time to place it where he wanted to.
Charnley wrapped up in the tackle eventually. Lachlan Lamb, and now Brad Dwyer passing it through into Ben Nakabuai, who's come on as a substitute. Dwyer for the visitors in towards Lamb. Lamb's high ball, that was a bit of a gamble. Matt Moylan, though, took it well. Towards the left-hand side for Ed Chamberlain. And just over the 40, but pushed back. Just that little extra, and that just shows you a little bit of how Salford are really committed to defending. And they've done a really good job so far. To the 40 again. As Dwyer in towards Moylan, who got clattered there as it in through the middle. A little one ball through the back here. Hardacre in towards the corner. A long chase to go for it. And pushed away well by Cade Cust. But alarm bells ringing at the back for Salford there.
There's a collision in back play.
Right, tackle 5.
And Leigh, I think it's Hanley still on the floor.
Can you check, please, the merits of a penalty try with the contact
Maybe
on Hanley?
having a look at either a penalty or a penalty try.
Well, Amila Hanley looks like he's in a little bit of trouble here. And just keeping an eye on what's going on because the physios have come over to
that called no try. We're looking for the merits of a penalty try. So confirm it onside from the kick. So we're just confirming the chaser is onside. So he's onside from that point. So we're confirming what happens here. So does he run him off the ball? So both challenging. Appears to be some form of push there. So we're going to look at any other angles potentially got. Kick through. Going back again. Yeah, I think enough on this angle, please. So we're going to play it through. So you can see Briley does that, just pushes him off the ball. So thank you, I've made my decision.
Well, Ryan Briley has been involved in everything so far in this game, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So the referees having a conference and having a look at this one. It's no try.
No try.
So the case for a penalty try
foul by Ryan Briley
has been overturned, but
Amila Hanley to sin bin.
In the bin. Off you go.
All fans, players, people who love this sport of ours want is consistency, and that's consistent with what we saw with Lachlan Lamb in the first half. Ironically, on Ryan Briley. He goes and sits down early for his half-time break, and they will be without him for 9 and a bit minutes in the second.
Yeah, just seconds remaining in this first half now, and Ryan Briley very much the centre of everything. 2 tries and now a sin binning for this on Amila Hanley.
Yeah, he's a fair bit late. No real complaints there, I don't think.
Glad to report, though, that Hanley is back on his feet and OK. He looked like he was in a little bit of trouble as he received quite a lot of attention from the physios, but back on his feet. And an awful lot for Adrian Lamb to talk about during the half-time break.
And Leigh are obviously going to try and convert and get those 2 points that they missed out on when they scored the try. Amila Hanley's try. And we can hear, probably you can't at home, the referee and the video ref discussing the merits of a penalty try. I think we're all confident that Hanley would not have got there.
Correct decision then, as far as you're concerned.
Yeah.
Moylan then to try and give the Leigh Leopards a little something just before the half-time hooter. Virtually from the same angle as the previous one, on this occasion he learns from his previous mistake. There goes the half-time hooter. Salford leading by 20 points to 6 as we go into the half-time break.
Well, the home side will go in confident, pleased with the first half, and the away team will talk about locking the ball up, controlling the ruck speed. But even though the scoreboard is 26, I think a fairly even contest.
It has indeed been a rip snorter as far as the home side are concerned. Ryan Briley, 2 tries and a sin binning. He's been at the centre of everything. Half-time analysis coming up short.
Welcome to a new season, folks. The home of rugby league is right here.
Yeah, buckle up. Look at the emotion.
An absolute flying machine.
Nice work there.
Beauty. That is an extraordinary moment.
Did miraculously well to get it through.
He jumped like a rainbow and came up with a pot of gold.
Tons of excitement coming up here on Sky Sports over the next few weeks. So much from the NRL. Melbourne versus Brisbane, Manly versus Penrith, and Canberra versus Parramatta on Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. A terrific weekend of action from down under. Here, of course, at the Salford Stadium, the Red Devils leading by 20 points to 6. It's been a rip-roarer of a game as far as Ryan Briley is concerned, involved in absolutely everything. 2 tries and a sin binning in a game that so far, Barry, has had a bit of everything.
Well, the Salford Red Devils, Ryan Briley, Cade Cust, Mark Sneyd, all combining at key points in the game. This first try came from Sneyd. Cust just delayed the pass, and then a lovely right foot step from Ryan Briley, who celebrates in front of the Leigh fans and does his signature celebration, enjoying his afternoon at that point. I'm not listening to you, I think, is what he's saying, but Rob Mulhern, who had a real big involvement in the first half, some great work carrying the ball forward. He makes a break, feeds Matt Davis, and from that field position, Myla Hanley goes in for the only try and the only score of the Leigh Leopards. Have hardly had any field position down our right as we're watching, but on one of the few occasions they got down, they managed to convert that opportunity. Ryan Briley stepped up for the second try of the afternoon for him. A drop-off play again, that triangle of Briley, Cust, Sneyd, proving fruitful for the home side. Accelerates into the gap, lovely step to evade and beat the fullback. And another celebration for him. The offloads from the big men have been a real feature for me in the first half, causing chaos within the defensive ranks of the Leigh Leopards. Nice passes, crisp, to a player running onto it. Accurate passes. Gives the opportunity to Ethan Ryan, who still has lots of work to do, but he's good enough and experienced enough to step inside and wriggle his way over the try line.
But neither side is having it all their own way. We've had a couple of yellow cards during this game as well. The first one coming for the visitors, Lachlan Lamb, first man sent to the bin, and then he was followed a little later on by Ryan Briley.
Yeah, well, Lachlan Lamb saw and sensed that Ryan Briley, pointing to where the space is, would have got there and scored the try. Whether he would or wouldn't, it doesn't matter. But Lachlan Lamb pulls him back, and the referee, who's been consistent with this throughout the game, sends him to the sin bin. And then Ryan Briley, as the line were broken on one of the few occasions over on that near side, Ryan Briley just can't resist. He had enough time to pull out of it, and he takes out a Myla Hanley, and he gets sent to the sin bin. He probably missed 9 minutes of the second half.
So 2 shouts for penalty tries, 2 sin binnings as well. Here's the rest of the statistics, and it tells a pretty strong story in terms of the scoreline as well, particularly there, Barry, in terms of possession, completed sets and metres.
Do you know the one for me? 90% completions for Salford, who do like to offload, who do like to take risks. So it proves to me that their skill is good enough, their ambition is good enough, but plenty of missed tackles from the Leigh Leopards.
He is one of our own, the Red Devils say, but of course, ironically, the fact is that he's played so many times for the Leigh Leopards as well. But let's see what happens in the second half. Welcome back to the Salford Stadium, where we have got a heck of a game on our hands here, but round 6 finishes tomorrow with the London Broncos still looking for their first win up against the Huddersfield Giants. And then round 7 next week with some really tasty ties. Just have a look at this selection. The Battle of the Borough on Thursday night, Leigh versus Wigan. We've got Castleford versus Salford, and then Hull Kingston Rovers against London Broncos on Friday. For the rest of the weekend, so much to look forward to. Leeds versus Warrington, that should be a humdinger. Saturday, we'll see whether Hull FC can start any sort of recovery against Huddersfield. And then on Saturday afternoon, what a way to finish off the round. The Catalan Dragons up against St Helens. Here at the Salford Stadium, though, It's the home side who are leading by 20 points to 6. It's been an incredible game for Ryan Briley, who's making his 300th appearance during his rugby league career so far. 2 tries and a sin binning for him. 2 sin binnings, 2 shouts for penalty tries, neither of which have been given. It's all exciting stuff, it has to be said. And we're very, very excited to see how this second half will turn out. It's the home side who are going to get us back underway in this second half with Ethan Ryan, who was one of the other try scorers just being shown in your picture there. Mark Sneyd will get us up and running for the second half in what we expect to be close stuff. We were saying, Barry and I, just chatting off air during half-time, that Leigh Leopards are not out of this by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think they've got the quality to come back into it. They've not been allowed to play to the style that they like to play. We've not mentioned Matt Molan, we've not mentioned Brad Dwyer. They've had virtually no impact on this game, and I think it's because of the domination of Salford and the way that they've thrown the ball around, similar to the way that Leigh are doing at the start of the second half.
Do you think that might have been an instruction then to the troops, as far as Adrian Lam is concerned? Try and do to them what they've been doing to you.
It's easy saying it,
but we do know that this side are capable of that.
We do, but I see a different attitude in defence from Salford. If we think back to that Wigan game, that's a lovely pass, that.
Lovely stuff from Owen Trout, and he's done well to find Davis, and Davis finds Moylan, and then Hanley stepping inside before eventually being caught out. And it's clear that the Leigh Leopards have decided right from the kick-off here they want to try and catch Salford cold after having their cups of tea in the sheds at half-time. Down the left flank, it's launched back inside. It was decent work. But,
play on.
Play on. They haven't managed to play on. Down to this inside for Brad Dwyer, and Brad Dwyer's done well here as it's brought in towards the middle through Ben Nakabuai, just close, so close to the line. Lachlan Lamb in towards Moylan. Moylan out towards O'Brien and finding Hardacre wrapped up in the tackle just 10 metres from the line. Early pressure for the Leigh Leopards. Moylan back in towards Trout. Trout again brought in short, close to the line, just strapping a little bit more strength from some of the Salford Red Devils defenders. Dwyer wants to play it quickly, wants to go alone, and he's held up, is he? 3 in the tackle there. The referee very, very close to it and had a good view.
They'll be happy with that, the Salford Red Devils. Anybody that has watched rugby league over the last 12 years will know that as soon as Brad Dwyer gets near the line, he's going to look to score from close.
Here they come, though, with O'Brien. Chamberlain waiting behind him, but then retreats and lets Lamb go back to it instead. Back in towards Davis. 10 metres from the line. This will be the 5th. Dwyer out towards Lamb. Lamb, good hands, little chip forward, trying to pick it up on the right-hand side was Charnley. Charnley is just held up very, very short, and again, the referee very close to this one and gets a good view.
Well, a frantic couple of minutes to start the second half. Ed Chamberlain is the player that just dabs the ball. I'm not sure whether that was the right decision. They seem to have numbers. They were running out of space, which is probably why he decided to kick it. But Leigh, like day and night, coming out, throwing the ball, challenging the Red Devils.
Well, if they were going to get back into this game in a short space of time, they had to take that approach, that kind of attitude, really go at it gung-ho early doors and try and catch Salford a little bit cold, perhaps.
As I said, they've dominated the first 40 minutes, the Red Devils. They've played the game in the manner that they set out to do. And it's the Leigh Leopards' job to try and disrupt that pattern, disrupt that rhythm. Sometimes the half-time hooter is the worst thing for a team.
Sneyd and Cuss just having conversations and taking a little bit of time to just diffuse things a little bit, calm everybody down. They're back in possession and a chance to run their way back into the game after that storm of forward play from the Leigh Leopards. So Shane Wright down the line to Callum Watkins. along the halfway line. Borough waiting for it. Goes in towards Partington, and now Shane Wright. Borough again, a dummy half. In through the middle towards Partington. And Borough trying to scurry his way through the Leigh defence. On the fifth tackle. Mark Sneed. And a grubber sort of a kick here, and causing a little bit of an issue for Hanley, but he decides that discretion is the better part of valour there as he lets it go.
Well, Sneed wanted to bank the field position, didn't he? He's not necessarily going to get the ball back. He just wants to put a full stop on the end of the set of 6, managing the game in the fashion that he wants to, and again just trying to control the tempo of the game.
Davis then was at dummy half, and out it comes towards Charnley, who almost loses his shirt in the process.
That tactical masterclass we talked about before the game, Mark Sneed has absolutely walked away with that honour.
Well, to be fair, Moylan hasn't really had that much of a hand on the game so far, has he?
No, and that's the point I'm making, Fraser. He's not been allowed to. They've been dominated and dictated the pace to.
O'Donnell from Dwyer, and now Lamb out to Moylan. And O'Brien stepping away well and finds Hardacre. Hardaker's got support in the shape of Hanley. It goes for Hanley, but he's run into some red shirts. And 10 metres from the line, they push him out.
Brilliant. What commitment in defence. The line was broken. There was obviously numbers on the edge. And Zach Hardacre, who was in acres of space, I'm sure Adrian Lamb was thinking, here we go. We broke the line. All we've got to do is put it over the white stripe, but you can see the faces and shirts in the shot. Tim Laffey does a terrific job. You can see him at the back. He will be communicating. I've got Hanley. You stay with the ball carrier. So that's why Zach Hardacre couldn't make that decision. Then when he did, the Red Devils handled it. And you can see the disappointment on the Leigh Leopards' faces.
They've been very impressive in both attack and defence so far in this game. The Salford Red Devils, a complete contrast to how it was last week in the Challenge Cup, where they were given a right royal drubbing by Hull KR.
It's good leadership, Fraser. It's not panicking, not looking at the ugliness of that scoreline, and just focusing in what you need to improve and working out a game plan to challenge your next victors.
Borough scampering away, and look at him queuing up behind him now to wait for the ball. In towards Partington.
He's been
well offloaded again. Down to this near side. And cross. Brought down on the 40. And wait again. Cust. That dummy half. And through the middle towards Watkins.
I think he's been exceptional, Ollie Partington. Pre-line, offloads, defensively as well. He's involved again with the ball.
Here comes Shane Wright. The long locks flowing behind him. Borough again towards Sneed with the kick over the top.
Same kick, same result, and all he's doing is turning around to his teammates saying, we'll do the same again, we'll do the same again. Push them into a corner.
Just wait for the opportunities to come.
Great leadership, getting round his hooker, letting everybody know and understand that there is method in his madness.
We've got about a minute left, I think, before Ryan Briley is allowed to come back onto the field after being sin-binned right at the end of the first half. Home side having to do a bit of defending at the moment, though, as Hanley comes way to the 30-metre line. 4 in the tackle as he's brought down. Moylan in towards Hardacre. Briley waiting on the sideline patiently for his chance to be brought back onto the field as Lamb brings it out way down towards the left side for Chamberlain. Chamberlain does well, keeping the ball up. Oh, and then, oh dear.
More celebrations defensively. You can see Cade Cuss just at the bottom of your screen, turning round to his teammates. Yes, boys, because he knows the significance of not just that play, but those 9 minutes that Ryan Briley's been on off the pitch because of that sin bin. Some terrific work defensively, wonderful attitude by the Red Devils.
Riley's back on. Baxter it was who made a hash of it. He's only made the one Super League appearance previously. This fella, though, 300 games up.
What price for a hat-trick?
Well,
what
we
price?
shall see. We shall see.
A very short one, I'd say.
Long time to go in this game at the moment, though. Salford in possession then. 30 metres from the line. Amir Burra waits patiently. And Sneed gets it in through to the middle to Wright. Burra to Sneed again. Nice kick towards underneath the poster, chasing after it. And it's that man again.
I love it again. Sits himself on the left side, on the short side, Mark Sneed, knowing that the fullback Ryan Briley is on his toes, expecting the kick, and a better bounce would have given him the perfect 300.
He's been an absolute pest to his old side this afternoon, hasn't he, Ryan Briley?
He's a pest in most games, isn't he? And that's why he puts his fingers in his ears. I'm not listening to you. Great stuff, great management. Everything that Salford are doing, you feel like it's controlled, you feel like it's deliberate. Even when they're playing off the cuff ad hoc, you feel like there's a method to it.
O'Brien's high kick into the hands of Cust and then Partington. Burra towards Sneed. Sneed cutting out the pass as he finds Briley, and then through towards Lafay, and then Briley again. Now with Sam Stone. 10 metres from the line.
Kate Cust wanted that ball then.
Burra out through to the middle. And picked up in the centre as Burra waits again for it, as it is with Shorrocks. Now pushed out for Sneed, out towards the right-hand side, waiting for Dion Cross, and Cross is wrapped up in the tackle. But well, as you can see, that's been given the other way anyway.
You could see what they're trying to do, Salford. They're really stretching the defence. I think it was a forward pass.
Forward pass, I think.
He was asking a lot of Dion Cross if he did collect that ball. But some great stuff from Paul Rowley's men, mixing the game up well, running hard. I love to see teams that have a ball carrier and a support player who is a genuine option and a genuine threat, and that's the way that they're playing this afternoon.
Here's Hanley. Hanley almost wriggling away from the Salford defence. Now Hardacre, Lafay chasing him all the way. And into the near side. Just 30 metres from their own line. The Salford defence pushing back hard here. As Baxter was brought down. Now here it is with Davis, and then in towards Lamb. Lamb to Moylan. And a high ball from O'Brien, and he's managed to find Hanley. Hanley now, has he got away from one defender? Yes, he has. And I think the pass was forward in the first place.
There's a rushing defence over on that left side for Salford. Rush the Leopards into catch and pass. And then when they did eventually pass, it went forward. Tim Lafay goes up, rushes Gareth O'Brien into that decision, and Hanley thinks he has a little bit of open field. But the good thing for me is there are 3 players chasing and a 4th in the screen. That is defensive attitude of the highest quality.
13 minutes gone in the second half. And still a 14-point ball game at the moment. And despite the fact that Salford were under the cosh for the early part of this second half, Adrian Lamb's side really came out all guns blazing, so to speak. They've managed to quell the storm, Salford, and just get themselves settled. As Burra gets it away into the middle. And he waits again at dummy half. Sneed. Oh, and just cut out there by Moylan. We got a hand in there, but he's very frustrated that all he's done is give the ball back to the opposition.
And that's where he is, Matt Moylan. He's resorting to going for that interception because they've hardly had any opportunities. It's a good guess, to be fair. If he catches it, he's got a long way to go. And if Sam Stone catches it, you feel like he could get over the try line as well.
Yeah, no wonder Matt Moylan shaking his head there. Bit of frustration, as you would expect. Salford then handed the ball back, and Nenny McDonald's still going. Pushed out towards the sideline. Theon Cross waiting for the ball. It's a little bit slower than we've been used to from Salford, as Shorrocks brings it into the middle. 10 metres from the line again. The Red Devils lining up as Partington was tackled. Sneed back in towards Shane Wright. Just a few metres shy of the line now. But they've got plenty of tackles in the tank here as Borough plays it to the right, in towards Partington again. He's done very, very well to keep that ball alive. Sneed, Mark Sneed from close range. Terrific work in the middle to keep the ball alive. And Mark Sneed celebrates with gusto.
We talked about the offloads, Fraser. We talked about Leigh Leopards needing to clamp that ball when they'd made the tackles. Well, they paid the ultimate price on that occasion. Mark Sneed rides a couple of tackles, manages to get the ball over the line. But look at that. The first person he wants to congratulate is one of the forwards. Terrific work. You can see set up just at the side of the post. He gives the short ball to Ollie Partington. There's probably a slight question mark on whether that first pass was forward or not, but he doesn't hang around. He takes the offload, shows a good bit of determination and desire to get over the try line, and he likes that, doesn't he?
Terrific work from Mark Sneed, and he has the chance now to add the extras as well. So, having seen his side really under the cosh ball, Rowley, in the early part of the second half, weathered the storm, they've pushed it back. We talked, didn't we, about Barry, all those gesticulations that Mark Sneed was making to his side when he was putting those kicks over into the corner. Keep going, complete the sets, wait for the opportunities to come, and he made one himself.
He's like a chess player. He's 3, 4, 5 moves ahead in his man, in his mind, in his game plan. What he wants to do is he wants to set up field position. He has the key players around him. He has all the pieces on the chessboard exactly where he needs them. I think one of the chess pieces was slightly in front on the lead up to that try, but it doesn't matter. As they say, it's in the papers.
It is indeed. And this is 5 from 5 for Mark Sneed. So another good kicking afternoon for him.
And the important part of that was the short pass, because everybody's expecting it to go out wide, to look for the spaces on the edge. And he knows, Mark Sneed, that even if he doesn't get a reward, if he doesn't get an offload, he'll tie up some defenders and he'll find the space on the outside later on. And it's not only verbal communication, you can see some hand signals, like a baseball coach.
And even from there, you could tell that despite the fact that they're now receiving the ball and they're 20 points in front, he is still shouting the instructions, still telling everybody exactly how he wants this game to go. And there's still an awful lot of time left in this game for Salford to pile on more pressure, if they can manage that in their own half at the moment, though. And towards the middle.
Well, the Leigh Leopards haven't looked as effective since Rob Mulhern left the field, another member of the 2023 Dream Team. He's just in front of us on the sideline, taking a break before his second stint. But when they bring him back on, I think that's going to improve the chances of getting back in this game.
Chris Atkin has come on, just short of the halfway line, and it was he that deputised at very short notice a couple of weeks ago when we were here for the game against Hull KR.
Cade Cost, have a bit of that. Oh, he's put a few of those in this afternoon, Cade Cost. He's had big back rowers running at him, But on that occasion, the ball is high, and Gaz O'Brien, well, I tell you what, for a little man, he hits like a sledgehammer.
Terrific stuff from Kate Cust. Here's Zach Hardacre for the Leigh Leopards. Just short of the halfway line. Sprung in towards the near side, and a layoff for Kai O'Donnell from Lachlan Lamb. As McNamara now on for the visitors. Finds O'Brien for another hoisted high ball, and did that one go backwards? I think it did.
Well, when you looks in, isn't it?
Isn't it just for Ryan Briley?
It was a wicked kick, spiralling away from Gareth O'Brien. He fumbles it. He fumbles it, and it goes backwards. So are you any more convinced on his hat-trick, Fraser? Come on.
I think there's a very good chance. But look, we've still got more than 20 minutes remaining in this game. So there's every chance.
Well, Salford have got some tough games coming up, haven't they?
Yeah, Castleford away, London away, Warrington at home, Huddersfield and Leigh both away, so the repeat fixture of this one.
But Leigh's fixtures are incredibly tough,
Yeah, have a look at this. Wigan at home, Battle of the Borough, of course. Hull Kingston Rovers away in the Challenge Cup quarter-final, a repeat of last year's final, of course. Warrington away, Catalans at home, Castleford at home, and then, as I say, that repeat game against Salford. So, tough draws for both sides coming up. But would you argue maybe one tougher than the other, perhaps?
Well, Leigh's have got a more difficult route ahead of them. And going into those games off the back of what looks a big scoreline at the minute. There's obviously a long way to go. Final quarter just about now. But they've been nowhere near in this game. You wouldn't put it past them to just notch up a couple of tries, because they have that potential.
Here's Dan Norman, who's back on the side as a substitute. Lamb, quick hands to Moylan, and through the middle goes Chamberlain. Chamberlain bringing it back inside towards Lachlan Lamb. They're not out of this game yet, the Leigh Leopards. Lachlan Lamb scores in front of his own fans and gives the Leopards a chance to get back in the game.
Well, there we go, the Leigh Leopards showing exactly how they can post points. McNamara barely onto the field, Ben McNamara, and has an influence and involvement on that try. Playing at 9, feeds Lamb, and then Lamb takes it to the line, as does Matt Moylan. Didn't he do well there with space and time to think about his next move? Ed Chamberlain feeds it back inside to Lachlan Lamb, who's pushing up in support. That will give them a little bit of confidence, the Leigh Leopards now. Do they believe that they can get back into this game? Got a big 18 minutes or so. The words hadn't left my mouth, had they, about them scoring tries?
Matt Moylan adds the extras. 2 from 3 for him.
Well, just behind
26 points to 12.
Sorry, Fraser, just behind the 6, the Salford Red Devils are all in a huddle. They know that this was a defensive lapse. They've been nigh on perfect defensively. They were broken by Ed Chamberlain and try scored by Lachlan Lamb. But they've had a good couple of minutes in a circle, talking to each other, trying to fix up on the run what went wrong.
Well, 14 points in it so far at this stage. Just under 18 minutes remaining. We've still got a ball game on here. We said it earlier that Leigh are by no means out of this game, and they've certainly shown that now. And they're receiving the ball as we get back underway. Oh, my words. And then we get an effort like that from Dan Norman as he spills it.
Well, Dan Norman offloaded the ball to set up that field position for Leigh Leopards, but he knows that's a shocker.
And Adrian Lamb knows it.
Well, he's from the backfield, he's running from the back fence, probably looking at who he's going to run at instead of catching the ball. One of the first things they teach you under 8s, under 9s is Eyes on the ball, look at the ball until it's in your hands, then decide where you're running.
Well, it's a lesson that's been harshly learned yet again for Dan Norman. And as a result, our home side regain possession just 10 metres from the Leigh line. If Salford score now, then surely they've put this game to bed. Borough waits for it to come from Tim Lafay in towards Sneed, and now through towards Stone. Stone again on that 10-metre line with the second tackle. Borough scampers short in towards the middle for Atkin. Atkin is tackled. And Borough, they've got plenty of time and plenty of space here, Salford, to find Sneed. And Stone gets wrapped up. Borough waiting, decides to go to the right-hand side for Sneed, and a chip forward this time. And, well, it's taken in this occasion by the visitors, who've managed to find Ed Chamberlain to defuse the ball there, and Charnley comes away with it through the middle.
Well, Mark Sneed is just toying with it, isn't it? Chips the ball over. A little bit of a tussle on the floor. Ollie Partington and Josh Charnley, I'm sure they would have been together at some point at Wigan. Two former Wigan players, of course. But the game management from Mark Sneed again, chips it over the defensive line, forces the Leigh Leopards. They're a metre away from their own try line, making it difficult to get all the way over to the other end of the field.
Well, as treatment continues for Josh Charnley, play continues for the visitors, and another penalty being given here, and they'll get an opportunity now to try and kick this forward and get themselves a little bit of extra space advantage.
Well, they won't want to be untidy at the play of the ball, the Red Devils, in these final 14-15 minutes. It's been a real strength of their side, the way that they've controlled the ruck, the way that they've controlled their opposition.
On the halfway line, Salford doing some defending as the visitors, through Jack Hughes, bring it through towards Moylan. Now Lamb, played in towards O'Donnell to the 30-metre line. Waiting for it is Dwyer. Dwyer to Lamb. And if they're going to get back into this game and force a grandstand finish, they have to get themselves back on the scoreline very, very soon.
Great work from Mark Sneed. Came in from a long way out, completed the tackle on Gareth O'Brien.
Well, it was Moylan in with the hands there.
That's been touched, has it, by Ethan Ryan?
By one of the Salford players. Hardacre running into a red wall.
I think you're right, Fraser. I think the next score is crucial for this game. If Leigh get the try, then they'll believe they can get the W. If Salford can keep Leigh out, they go to the other end of the field, score the points. I think that's Leigh gone.
A bit of pushing and shoving going on here, involving Zach Hardacre. Here's Dan Norman, who will be desperate to atone for spilling the ball just a few moments ago. 6 more as Lamb brings it inside to O'Donnell. O'Donnell runs into defenders. Dwyer waiting quickly. Dwyer in towards Chamberlain. Chamberlain just short. Plenty of time here. They can just find the right pass. The Leigh Leopards. Dwyer in towards Lamb. Short for Norman. Norman is turned around in the tackle. Dwyer waits. Out towards Lamb. In towards Moylan. Kick to the corner. Hardacre chasing it, so too Hanley. But well picked up by Ethan Ryan.
Really smart kick from Moylan. He knew that Salford had got up, trying to shut that play down, and all the space was behind the defensive line. And the kick was accurate enough that Ethan Ryan had to catch it and take it over the sideline. A good period of pressure from the Leopards.
So the decent game, Ethan Ryan. Defensively good there, and then did some terrific work in order to score his try in the first half. Just under 13 minutes remaining. Leopards on the attack once more with Lewis Baxter. And now Dwyer trying to go himself from close range. Will be held up.
Tackle two, boys.
Indeed he is. And they'll be pushed back to the 10-metre line. Davis then towards the near side for Norman again, who's very much involved for the visitors now as Lamb finds Moylan. Once again, a long high ball over the top for Amila Hanley. The comeback is on. The comeback is very much on. Amila Hanley gets his second try of the game, and that could be absolutely crucial for the Leigh Leopards.
Well, two huge involvements from Matt Moylan in the last 60 seconds or so. A beautiful kick, and then a pass that released the winger Hanley. He had acres of space. It was a beautiful piece of play. Defenders up in the attacking line from Salford Red Devils. He cuts out three players and finds Amila Hanley on the end. And listen to the crowd now. The Leigh faithful believe that this game is in the balance and there for the taking.
Well, penny for his thoughts right now, after what's been a very, very difficult afternoon for his side. But as we go into the final 11 minutes, they are finishing with a flourish. Moylan can add a little bit of extra pressure here if he can get it through. He's missed it.
He knew from the minute he struck that ball, he wasn't happy, and he's disappointed with himself running back. But that doesn't take away from the quality of the kick that got his side the repeat set. And that pass is a thing of beauty.
Still 14 points. Sorry, 10 points in it. My math is terrible. 10 points still in this game. So it's got to be two tries. But the way things are going, Leigh Leopards very much in this ascendancy as we go into the last 10 minutes. And they'll come barnstorming through the middle here, through Dan Norman.
No mistake from Dan Norman on that one, was there?
He kept his eyes on the ball well and truly there, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Kai O'Donnell for the visitors up towards the 40-metre line. And a real sense of urgency now about everything that the Leigh Leopards are doing as they push it away to the right. And Hardacre is tackled. Moylan, dummy half. Into the middle for Hughes, just offloading that one. And they're now looking like they need to try and do what Salford have been doing for the whole game. And he's got away here brilliantly. Terrific work from Lachlan Lamb. Back in towards the middle for Ed Chamberlain. Down the right-hand side with a kick and chase. Charnley going chasing after this one. Briley is first to it. And diffuses the ball well, but panic stations at the back there.
Turning the heat up, turning the pressure up. The Salford side. There was an appeal for 6 again when that ball was offloaded and hit the ground. But the Leigh Leopards, you can see Lachlan Lamb. Beautiful footwork, beautiful acceleration, and an accurate pass to Ed Chamberlain, who weighs up all his options, puts it on the end of his toe, whilst Ryan Briley is trying to get hold of it. Wow, he can feel that pressure, can't it?
Well, he almost demolished our camera there, Ryan Briley, as he went chasing after that one. So, oh dear. Well, one of the most experienced players on the pitch, Josh Charnley, and he's given possession away.
I can only think there's a lack of communication there. Lachlan Lamb was backpedaling. He probably thought it was his ball to catch.
Just over his shoulder there, Lamb,
yeah,
isn't it?
And do you know what? You'd love to think that there was a call from Josh Charnley and he misjudged it. If neither player called for it, but one expected the other one to get it, then that's something that's pretty basic.
It's incidents like that that can turn a game at this late stage.
It just deflates, doesn't it? Just halts that momentum that the Leopards had started to gather.
8 minutes to go. 10 points in it. Tim Lafay with the ball for the home side, just over the halfway line. Amir Burra from Atkin in towards the near side for Ormonroyd. Stealing an extra metre or two for his side as Burra finds Sneed. Back in through the middle.
They may well be thinking Salford, through that mind, through that intellect and rugby league IQ of Mark Sneed, we might just nudge the one-pointer over here.
Burra to Sneed, finding Ormonroyd. Burra again, goes to his left this time. In for Shorrocks. 15 metres from the line, we're on the 5th tackle. Needs something special here from the Salford Red Devils, or at least put Leigh under pressure. It's another kick from Sneed. In towards the corner they go, chasing after it. Stone was in there, and then butched down by Ethan Ryan. The referee will have a close look at this one, because there were hands and bodies all over the shot there. This will be a difficult one for the video referee.
Tackle 5, we have a try. Can you review potential knock-on, please? In a second, mate. He'll have a look.
Okay, live decision to try on field, so we're confirming who is onside. So we're confirming live decision try, so the onside to the left and Amir Burra is offside to the right. So let's follow this through. So let's see where Burra is. Yeah, Burra's outside 10, so we're playing on, so we're just on the contest now. See what happens, who does this come off? So I need something close up. This might help us see who does this come off. It's a genuine contest. Yeah, so yeah, this might help me. So just confirming, like I said, live decision to try, so after sufficient evidence. So that, who does that come off there? That looks like it misses everybody there. So there's no touch with the hand. That comes off the head. So that's play on at that point. So does it touch the hand? No touch of the hand, off the head, so playing it on from here. So what happens? Looking at the second element to this now, is there a knock-on? So this element, there's no knock-on there, I've established that, so we're playing on from here. So what happens here at this point? That's a bouncing ball. Bounces, hits the knee, so we're playing on again. Hits the knee and goes backwards. Hits the, what happens here? Just confirm he does collect it clean. So yeah, so we're playing on, hits him, regathers the ball, playing on. So then we're going on the grounding now. Confirm he does ground the ball. Confirm Ryan does ground the ball. I've made my decision.
Well, no surprise that it was going to be a difficult one. Would you have to see that from many different angles?
Well, I'm not convinced they've got that right. I'm not. Ethan Ryan, he said it touched his head, which was play on. I think he may well have touched it in the attempt to pick it up.
Well, either way, it doesn't matter because the video referee has made his decision. Ethan Ryan has got his second try of the game, and that looks as though it may well be the final nail in the coffin as far as Leigh Leopards are concerned.
Well, if they're saying that it touches his head when he goes up to challenge, I'm willing to go with that, but I think he touches it.
Are you saying you think Sam Stone's maybe got something on that ball?
No, I think Ethan Ryan touches it into Sam Stone when he's trying to pick it back up. Therefore, that's a knock-on because he's touched his own player with the ball.
Either way, bottom line is,
they've had the rub of the green. They have been dominant and they deserve the win, without a doubt, the Red Devils. But for me, there was a question mark on the Oliver Partington and Mark Sneed interaction, and the short play to Partington. Thought that may well have been forward, and have a question mark on that. And then, if you think about the chip and chase, Joe Mellor, that could have been a yellow card. That could have been a penalty or a yellow card. Yeah, it's not been without talking points, has it, Fraser?
To be fair, we did expect, we said it right at the start we expected this to be exciting and entertaining stuff. After a little bit of a sluggish start, that's exactly what it's turned out to be. Salford, yes, they have been pretty much dominant, but Leigh have very much played their part in this match. And Mark Sneed makes it 6 from 6.
I'm always conscious, I'm always wanting to take the referee out of any scenario. I'm sure Adrian Lamb will go back to that dropout. You said it, Fraser, you said that that was a turning point. I agree with you, that was a turning point. And you've got to ride your luck. Josh Charnley and Lachlan Lamb have a lot of experience and will get that right 9 times out of 10. But under the bright lights, under the pressure, with the game just about tilting in their favour, they fluff the lines, and from that opportunity, Salford gets 6.
Well, with 5 minutes to go, and the game pretty much put to bed as far as the Salford Red Devils are concerned. Barry, it's time for you to start thinking about your Betfred player of the match. A couple of candidates, I'm sure, from the home side. Lachlan Lamb pushing it forward for the visitors as Ben Nakabuai is wrapped up. Here's McNamara. Moylan in towards the hands of Owen Trout. McNamara again in towards Kai O'Donnell once more. Wrapped up. It's Vuniyawa, rather. Apologies, Ben Nakabuai. Before eventually Moylan kick into the corner, and a chance here for Amila Hanley to get a hat-trick. They've done it so many times this afternoon. The ball into that right-hand corner, and Amila Hanley takes full advantage. The game may be over, but the scoring isn't. Amila Hanley gets his hat-trick.
Another accurate kick, played for and got from Matt Moylan. Judges it perfectly, places it into the path of Yumila Hanley, and Ethan Ryan and Hanley, well, they've had a good tussle all afternoon, haven't they? He'll take his, or should I say, he won't take his time with this conversion.
It's rapid, absolutely rapid, and kicks it beautifully as well. Between the posts from a very tight angle there, Matt Moylan, so they still think they might still have a chance. 10 points to go.
Yeah, still 10 points, isn't it? For me, it just wipes off the try that Ethan Ryan scored. It's a beautiful setup, and as you've said, he's done that a number of times, which tells me they've worked on it, they've practiced it, they've put it into play.
Just over 3 minutes left, and 10 points separate them. Hang on to your hats, folks. Salford kicking us back into the restart, and Dan Norman, with his eyes firmly on the ball this time, smashes into the Salford defence. McNamara in towards Charnley. Who's coming home the strongest in this game? We shall see. McNamara playing it very, very quickly. Lamb, twinkle toes from Lamb as the tackle is made. Back in towards the middle. O'Brien and in towards Nakabuai. Nakabuai eventually wrapped up in the tackle, and McNamara finds Lamb. Lamb in towards Gareth O'Brien, and then picked up by Jack Hughes just over the halfway line. McNamara waits again. They want to get it up the field as much as they possibly can on this 5th tackle here, but they're going for it. They're going for it, Leigh Leopards. Chip forward from Chamberlain in towards Charnley, who's chasing after it. Charnley upended just short of the line. Very, very close.
Again, Ed Chamberlain puts the kick in, and Josh Charnley is pleading with the referee, claiming he'd been taken out. Ed Chamberlain, with all those red shirts around, asked Josh Charnley to do a lot. It's been frantic. There's been pressure at different times, but cool heads and calm thinkers have come to the fore. We talked about that battle between Matt Moylan and Mark Sneed, and Mark Sneed has been on top. I'd love to give it to somebody who's worked hard in the engine room like Ollie Partington, and of course Ryan Briley on 300. For me, the Betfred player of the match is Mark Sneyd, for the way that he's controlled this game and got his side over the line for the W.
And he hasn't stopped talking throughout the entire 78 minutes so far.
And we watch, don't we? We watch when he's got his hands on the ball and what he's doing when he's involved in that respect. But from our gantry position, we can see him pointing. He's marshalling his troops and he's making sure everybody understands what he wants from them.
Mellor back on the field. And just slowing everything down a little bit now. The home side. As Atkin finds Sneyd. Sneyd with another kick to the corner, and they'll be happy to do that now for the remaining few seconds of this game. Just keeps the Red Devil up in the difficult part of their own field.
He's going to need some kind of lozenge when he gets in the chair. He's not shut up all game, has it?
And why not? Oop. High challenge gone in there, which is a bit of a bad one. And sure enough, the referee gives a penalty as a result. Joe Shorrock's guilty of the high tackle. Into the last few seconds of the game then, and it's been a pretty dominant display from Salford, but not without plenty of effort and excitement being put in by the Leigh Leopards this afternoon. As the hooter goes, it's the 2 points that are going to be staying with the home side. It's been an exciting game, it has to be said. Ryan Briley with a couple of tries, along with Ethan Ryan, 3 for Amaya Hanley for the opposition. But that man has been well and truly the orchestrator of the victory this afternoon. It's been a 10-point victory for the Salford Red Devils. And we'll have full-time analysis, and we'll be hearing, hopefully, from the player of the match very, very soon.